Hey everybody, it's SoCal Mike, Big Game Hunter here. I just wanted to do a recap of our episode 12 show because we found just tons and tons of things in this past episode. And I thought it would be good just to kind of go over some of the stuff that we found, do kind of a quick little recap. We're going to start off by talking about the Sega Genesis system that we came across. Now this was a complete system. It's really dusty and everything, but we could clean it up pretty good. We ended up getting this for I think $15. And it came with a few cartridges, nothing, really great. Let's see what games this thing came with here. Mostly sports games, NBA Live, Shadow of the Beast, that's a pretty cool game. Jungle Strike, that's pretty cool. Shaq Fu. Jerry Glanville's Pigskin Football. Might be kind of an interesting one to check out. I kind of forgot about that one. And Stimpy's Invention. So came with those games and a complete system with controllers and pretty much everything that we needed for 15 bucks. So that was a pretty good deal. Now soon right after that, we came across that score of the Black Label Sony PlayStation games, and I've been trying to build up my PlayStation collection again lately. So a lot of these are going to be keepers for me. I picked up Driver. Now this is a game that when it first came out back in the day, I really enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of Destruction Derby, which to me was one of the biggest defining moments of the PlayStation. That game just blew me away. This game is very similar to Destruction Derby, but with more of a kind of an open roaming, free roaming world. This is a really cool driving game, guys. You need to pick this one up if you've never played it. Picked up Soul Reaver. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, Championship Surfer, Bust a Move 4, Tekken 3, Ace Combat 2. Now, you guys, another thing about the PlayStation that I really enjoy, when it first came out, if you remember, I think a couple of the launch titles were Battle Arena, Toshinden, and the original, or the first Ace Combat, which, if you guys remember the intro to that, how it had the jet fighters with the air brakes, ditching and swaying and swerving all over the place. That was one of the coolest, moments in video gaming history that I remember. You always look back on kind of defining moments within your own history of gaming. And everybody's kind of got their own moments where they were pretty much, blown away by something. And that intro, when I'd go into Toys R Us or wherever they happened to be, Babbage's or whatever, where they were playing that demo, I mean, that made me want to buy a PlayStation the day that it came out. It was just awesome, to see that for the first time. You just knew from that point on that it was going to be, a kick-ass system, and of course, the PlayStation rocks. And Final Fantasy Tactics. I picked these all up for $18, I think, for all of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of these for 18 bucks. That's pretty great. So, like I said, I'm going to keep some of these for my collection. May put some of them up on GameGavel for sale. We'll have to see how it all shakes out. Okay, let's see here. One of the other things we picked up was a pretty cool boxed NES game. Now this is Trog. It's not a real rare game, but it's not a really super easy one to find either. It's just a really quirky caveman game. Now this one is factory sealed. I think we ended up paying about 20 bucks for this one. We bought this one along with the Tomy Hit and Missile game that I'll show you guys in a minute. I think we paid 35 for both of them. Of course, this was an arcade game from Williams. And it wasn't a real relevant arcade game. It might not have hardly even been produced. I don't think they made that many of them. It might have only come out as a prototype basis. I have played one at SC3 here in Southern California. It's a pretty cool, kind of a quirky little game. It used that claymation kind of graphical style that, it's pretty cool. So anyway, this one's factory sealed. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this one for my collection or put it up for sale. We'll have to see. But anyway, it is a pretty fun game. So I was pretty excited to find that. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, so here is the Tomy Hit and Missile. Now, Tomy, came out with just Digital Derby and Blip, all kind of at the same era. They also had a baseball game and a motocross game that's actually really fun. But these, again, were all the mechanical style games. They actually used these kind of invisible film And you know, it comes off kind of trying to look like a television video game. And they did a really good job of it. You kind of see what it looks like when the missile, you know, you shoot the missile to go up to hit the flying saucer. This thing looks like it's absolutely never been used. The battery compartment is as clean as can be. It's got the instructions on the back, and of course, you know, it came in the box. No instructions, but these games are pretty easy to figure out, face it. So we picked that up as well. Pretty damn awesome. One of the, well, I won't get to that yet. Let's see. We picked up 3 boxed N64 games for $5 each. These are all complete with their instructions. The boxes are actually pretty good. They're a little loose, you know, but, you know, they're not bad. We picked up 1080 Snowboarding, Wave Race 64, and Cruisin' USA. You know, 3 really good, solid games for the N64 in their boxes. Again, I've got all of these already, but not in the box. Debating whether or not I'm going to keep them with the boxes or sell them with the boxes. We'll just have to see. My wife found this Super Cobra Copter. Now, this is from Tandy. It's similar to, you know, Stern's Scramble and Super Cobra games, I would assume. It's missing 1 battery cover, and there's some battery corrosion in there. I have put batteries in it. I can't get it quite to work yet. Does work with an AC adapter, though, if I could find one to work with that. But I'm going to clean it up and just put it on display. You know, it's still pretty darn cool. And we'll try cleaning it up some more and try to get that one working. What else? Oh, guys, this is actually, out of all of the stuff that we found in this show, I'm kind of most excited about this, because this is an Atari promo highlighting a specific day in Atari and Pac-Man video gaming history. The day is April 3rd, 1982. I'm going to read this to you guys, and maybe one of you guys were at one of these Atari Pac-Man events. Let's read it. It says, only 5 more days until Atari National Pac-Man Day. On April 3rd, 1982, Atari will officially introduce the only home video game version of Pac-Man, and a nation will celebrate. You can join the celebration simply by showing up at a location listed below. There'll be prizes, contests, and events of all descriptions. You'll even get to meet Pac-Man himself. It'll be great fun, but don't forget but don't let the merriment distract you from 2 important facts. Only Atari makes a Pac-Man home video game, and it can only be played on an Atari video computer system. So join us April 3rd. It'll be a great day, especially if you're a Pac-Man fan. Now, this must just be half of the display or the announcement, because remember, it said look below for locations. So I don't have that. It'd be great to know where these were being held. If any of you guys were involved with this, get in here and let everybody know, and let us know what it was all about, so we can kind of close the loop with this, because this is pretty damn cool. Not something you find every day at a swap meet. So very excited. I'm definitely keeping this. Probably going to frame it and put it on the arcade wall. Okay, so I guess let's talk about that Atari 2600 game lot that we picked up, because it was a pretty cool lot, it turns out. Now, you know, in the video, I went up to buy it, but it was kind of expensive, so I only picked out maybe 5 or 6 of the games originally, kind of the gatefold games, which we'll talk about here in a minute. And then went through the rest of the swap meet, and then was about ready to leave, and I thought, shit, you know, I don't want to leave those there. Let's go back and try to get a better deal and see what we can do. I just could not, you know, leave a whole box of boxed Atari games there. You know what I'm saying? Because who knows? Maybe nobody buys them. They end up going in a dump somewhere. Who knows? So I went back and bought the Atari 2600 lot. One of the things that's really cool is this right here, guys. And some of you guys, I'm sure, are aware of what these are and the significance of these, and some of you guys may not. What these are 7 of the first 9 Atari games that Atari released with the Heavy Sixer when the system first hit the store shelves in 1977. And you can tell that this is the case because, number one, they're in these cool book-style kind of gatefold boxes. Now, most of these, except for a couple, are kind of also glossy and a little thicker than what they went to after that. So these were only available in this gatefold box just a little bit after launch in 1977, and then they went to all of the boxes where you open the lid and pull everything out, you know, one side. So this particular lot came with 7 of the 9 gatefold boxes, and these are going to be kept and put in my collection. We got Combat, Surround, Basic Math, Street Racer, Video Olympics, Starship, and Air Sea Battle. We're missing Blackjack and Indy 500, and otherwise that would be a complete set of what they call the original 9, which is something that you guys should all try to get, because I mean they're pretty historical, you know what I mean? So that's really cool. Now the rest of the games that came in that lot, I'm gonna bring up here in the box. So it's a pretty good lot. We ended up paying $90 for all of these, including these gatefold boxes. But we got Mousetrap, and most of these, they look like they're brand new. They've never been used. They've all, as far as everyone I've opened up so far has got the original instruction book. So I think that they've all got their instruction books. So we got Mousetrap. We got Kroll. Those are 2 that I'm actually going to be keeping. Now the rest of these I'll probably put up on GameGavel. Okay. We got Maze Craze, Activision Decathlon. Great game. Space Invaders, Skydiver and Hangman, Warlords, great multiplayer game. If you guys haven't played this, I'm sure most of you have, but if you haven't, pick up an Atari 2600 and some paddle controllers and get your buddies together, play some Warlords. You guys will love it. Defender. This is the Telegame Sears version of Asteroids. Adventure and Home Run. Breakout, Berserk, and Canyon Bomber. Kangaroo. Now this ended up being an Intellivision game that they had stuck in there. Frogger. Jungle Hunt. Boxing and Chopper Command. The Sears Telegames version of Pac-Man and Activision Star Master. This is a great game, guys. This is, again, one of my favorite all-time Atari 2600 games. Just looking at that box art just brings back, you know, tons of memories for me. I'm sure you guys as well. Great game. Probably my favorite game of all time on any system ever is Kaboom. This is going to get buried with me. Not this one, but one of these will be buried with me someday. Freeway, Bowling, and Outlaw, and one Atari 7800 cart Karateka. So that wraps up, you know, all of those games that we paid $90 for. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal, really. I'm going to move those back over here. Then the last thing that we found was this really clean Atari 7800 system. Now, when you guys find these Atari 7800s, you need to look, because a lot of times, actually most of the time when I find them, they still have the protective covering or film on this silver part, and it's kind of the same way with the Atari 5200s as well. So if you've got one of these and you haven't noticed, go look at it, and you can usually see a little seam across here, and with that seam then you can pull off this really tight fitting film, and even if there's scuffs and stuff on that tape, a lot of times if you pull that off, you're going to just reveal a near perfect mint condition kind of silver nameplate. So that's pretty cool. Or if you want to leave the film on and preserve it, that's cool too. But check it out. You'll see that. We only got one controller with it. We picked up one of the Atari trackballs. Now this is a really nice trackball. This one, I mean, look at that. Plays great. It's got your fire buttons up here. Thing doesn't look like it's ever been used. That's pretty awesome. And then we ended up just picking up some of the games. Remember, I left a few of them there, but we picked up Super Football, still wrapped, factory sealed. Venture, still wrapped and factory sealed. I'm going to be keeping that one. Dark Chambers, which I've never played. It's not sealed, but it's in a really nice box with its instructions. And Solaris, guys. Solaris is a great game. Kind of came out at the end of the Atari 2600's life cycle. Y'all want to check this out, because this kind of gives, you know, a full look. You got Combat, you know, in 1977. You've got Solaris coming out here in around 1987, 1988. And it's amazing to look at the difference between the early games of the Atari 2600, compare it with a game like Solaris, which is just graphically, you know, pretty much milking the Atari 2600 for everything it's worth. And it's a fun game to boot. So you want to check out Solaris for sure. What else do we got, guys? I think that's it. That's going to wrap up the recap for Big Game Hunter episode number 12. Hope you guys are continuing to enjoy the show. Some of this stuff's going to be up on GameGavel here shortly. And get ready for another episode 13 coming up in the next couple of weeks. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Summer's coming. The swap meets and the garage sales are going to start opening up for you guys. Get out there, find some stuff. Keep gaming alive by buying retro vintage games, reselling them, putting them in your collections. Keep them out there and, you know, out in the world. That's what we really need to do, guys. So get with me and let's keep retro gaming alive.